Hi guys, it's Sarah, your favorite 5th grade social studies teacher, and this is your first homework video on the 5 themes of geography. Now look at your notes. The first question is, what are the 5 themes of geography? And they're listed right here. Location, place, region, movement, and interactions between humans and the environment. If you need to pause the movie now to write those down, go for it. I'll see you in a few minutes. The first theme of geography that we're going to learn about is location. Location answers the question, where are we? And there are 2 types of location. There's absolute location and there's relative location. The definition of absolute location is a latitude and longitude, which is a global location, or a street address, which is a local location. So some examples of absolute location. If you were trying to find Paris, France, you would say it was at 48.87 degrees north latitude and 2.34 degrees east longitude. That's not a great way to describe where it is, but that is accurate. A better way is to use a street address. The White House is located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C., 20500. Relative location is described by landmarks, time, direction, or distance from one place to another, and may associate a particular place with another. If you need to press pause to write that down, you can. An example of relative location, if somebody asked me where Georgetown Cupcakes was, I would say it's between Cava and Daddy and Son and around the corner from the big Barnes & Noble in Bethesda. Or if somebody asked me where I'm from, I would say, oh, I'm from New York. It's about a 5-hour drive from here. So you can see that I gave the location of Georgetown Cupcakes with landmarks, and I gave the location of my hometown in time. What are the absolute and relative locations of gas? You're going to have to figure that one out on your own. Place is another theme of geography. So what do you think about when you imagine China or Montana or your house or the post office? What is place? Well, a place is an area that is defined by everything in it. So all places have different features and characteristics that give them their own personality and set them apart from other places. So if you think of my classroom as a place, you would say, oh, Sarah's classroom, it has walls and windows, decorations, there are students in it, there are flamingos there, there's clothing, beanbag chairs, there are cubbies there, sometimes there are crickets there, and everything else in the room makes this place different from everywhere else on campus. What are the differences between my classroom and Risha's classroom? And what are the similarities? See you in a few minutes as you answer that question. Region is the third theme of geography. And a region is an area that is defined by certain similar characteristics. And so, here's an answer to one of your questions. Those characteristics can be physical characteristics, natural ones, human characteristics, or cultural characteristics. And you can see on this slide that Scandinavia is a region, as well as the South. What do you think Scandinavians have in common? What do people from the South have in common? Can you name 2 more regions? Movement is the 4th theme of geography. It refers to the way people, products, information, and ideas move from one place to another. It can be local, such as how did you get to school today? Did you ride in the car? Did you take the bus? Maybe talking about what you learned at the dinner table. That's another type of movement. You're moving your ideas. Or accessing information on your iPad. It can also be a very big idea of movement, a global idea, such as how humans got to North America. Can you think of 2 examples of how people or products might move? And can you give me 2 examples of the movement of ideas and information? This final theme of geography is a juicy one. It's called human and environmental interaction. And it wants to know why and how humans and the environment affect each other. So we as humans change the environment. And examples of how we do that: pollution and maybe creating a man-made lake. We have changed the environment. Sometimes Mother Nature changes it back. For example, tornadoes in the Midwest or hurricanes like Superstorm Sandy a few years ago. There are 3 important ideas to remember about human and environment interaction. Humans adapt to their environment. Humans modify their environment. And humans depend on their environment. What that means is, when humans adapt to their environment, they are changing to fit in with their environment. When humans modify their environment, that means humans are changing the environment to fit them. And humans depending on the environment, that's when people use the environment to help them move forward. So, the question is, what are the 3 main ideas of human-environment interaction? And I want you to give an example of each one. So how do humans change to fit their environment? How do humans change the environment to fit them? And how do humans depend on the environment? See if you can come up with a few ideas. Were you able to come up with any examples? If not, don't worry. We're going to go over it in class. Now, this is a picture of the Hoover Dam. I want you to think about those 3 main ideas: humans adapting to the environment, humans modifying the environment, and humans depending on the environment. Is the Hoover Dam an example of us adapting to the environment? Is it an example of us modifying the environment or depending on the environment? There's one answer that's better than the rest. Circle that one on your sheet. How about this cut down forest? Is it an example of humans adapting, modifying, or depending on their environment? Remember, one answer is better than the rest, so circle it on your notes. Finally, these are solar panels. Are they an example of humans adapting, modifying, or depending on their environment? Okay, remember your notes are due the next time I see you. So, have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week.